finally a real trailer is out for Mandalorian and Grogu, because that Super Bowl trailer was kind of trash, let's be honest. But at least it confirmed that it was Hoth, so they will probably visit Hoth too. There's a bunch of planets featured in this trailer, so let's go through them one by one, and also the live action characters. I mean, Embo in this trailer was a complete surprise right out of Left Wing. I didn't even expect something like that. We didn't even get the leaked trailers or something, somebody talking about it. So this was great. And also Grogu visiting perhaps Dagobah, perhaps Ossus again, which means, as I've been suspecting and as I've been talking about, we might get to see Luke Skywalker again in this movie. So rejoice. If we get another trailer, we might get to see Luke. So let's start by analyzing what actually happened in the trailer. What did we see? So there's a bunch of surprises here. Of course, the first shot, this was in the teaser yesterday. The first shot is amazing with the X-Wings and the sunset. This comes right out of The Force Awakens, which kind of a similar backdrop when it first started in the teaser trailer. So we have the Razor Crest back. Now I know the fans will rejoice again, because most of us, we did enjoy them having to be in the N1 Naboo starfighter, but at the end of the day, a ship is a ship. So in somehow, just like Palpatine returned, somehow Razor Crest returned also. He might have, the Mando might have completely revamped it from scratch. And who knows, we're gonna get that answer, but that's not really as important as the first surprise in this trailer. Martin Scorsese is in this movie. He is voicing a character, a food vendor, in the middle of the street that Din Djarin approaches, offers him credits in order for information. When he learns what he is searching, which is the Hutts, well, he just closes shop. We have a cameo that is great by Martin Scorsese, and I wonder, did Jon Favreau ask him for the favor, or did Martin Scorsese want to be in a Star Wars movie? You know, everybody wants to be in a Star Wars movie, so... And then we see this shot, a gate opening for where Rhoda the Hutt is inside with another partner. So if you remember in the previous trailer, this is the place where Mando and Grogu will actually fight these beings, these machines or whatever they are, on the right and on the left. So you see that Rhoda has upgraded from his dad. His dad has had Gamorrean guards, and basically that was kind of it. Now Rhoda has learned from his father, and he has beefed up the security quite a bunch. As we see in the trailer, they will pose a problem for Grogu and Mando. Their visit to Rhoda the Hutt will be a visit that will entrap them, and it will be a mirror of what happened in Return of the Jedi, because Luke Skywalker, similarly in Return of the Jedi, he kind of went in knowing that they will probably catch him, that Jabba the Hutt will catch him, and he will destroy his organization from the inside. And as we see, the same thing happens with Mando, because Din will be captured. We see his helmet off also, and then he will fight in the gladiatorial arena with Rhoda the Hutt himself. And it completely mirrors Return of the Jedi. What Luke did with Jabba the Hutt, Mando will do with Rhoda the Hutt. So we also see snowtroopers and a meeting between Imperial remnants, where one of them, as we've seen this character in Mandalorian Season 3, he says, "Long live the Empire." Now, the snowtroopers and the setting outside of these windows, you can probably guess that we're located on Hoth, which is kind of ironic considering that this was once a planet harboring rebel fugitives and the Rebel Alliance. They had their base. Now it's the other way around. The Empire has a secret base on Hoth. This is why we see in the Super Bowl trailer Din Djarin and Grogu on this planet. We also see a cool sequence where, again, ironically, Din Djarin uses flames on snowtroopers, which is kind of fun. But the most impressive part was this shot where we see the house of Din Djarin and Grogu in the background of Navarro, where they last left off. He became the sheriff of the town, basically, and we see Embo slowly approaching. Now, the next shot is also, again, Embo capturing Din Djarin and removing his helmet, which means that this will be twice that he removes his helmet. Not only that, this forces, of course, Pedro Pascal to be literally in the studio, in the set, actually film these shots, which is a miracle nowadays for Pedro Pascal, and this is what kind of bugs me. But whatever the case, as far as the trailer goes, for me, is a complete jumbled mess. We really don't know what is going on. All we know is that Grogu and Din Djarin will be having tons of fun. This is going to be just a complete adventure from one place to another, from one character to another, and to me it symbolizes the return of fun Star Wars more so than epic Star Wars, and it gives me the vibes of Solo: A Star Wars Story. This is what I equate this movie to. Now, hopefully it doesn't suffer the same box office returns as Solo: A Star Wars Story, but I kind of look at it that way, that it's just a fun adventure they will have fun at, and at the end of the day it will conclude with a nice conclusion. I think this is a jumping off point for Dave Filoni, for Jon Favreau, and for the new era of Lucasfilm and Star Wars. So I think this is kind of the Iron Man also of the Marvel era. So it's basically a movie that you can start with, but it will start to ramp up more and more as the movies and as the years go on. I want to also mention Zeb in live action. We got a couple of more shots in there, meeting and finding out who Grogu is, which are two worlds kind of combining, the Rebels world and now the Mando world. And it symbolizes, the unification of Dave Filoni's projects, everything coming together, even the Clone Wars. So Embo coming back in live action. There's so much happening in this movie. It's a Dave Filoni fest, kind of. Everything is coming together. It rhymes, it's poetry, just like George Lucas. What I really want to focus on, actually, and what I've been clamoring for, talking about, it gives me, the reassurance that Luke Skywalker is still with us. He has still not abandoned us. Not that Mark Hamill will be back, but at the very least we will have a Luke Skywalker, character, perhaps a recast. Something might happen, but what gives me assurances is that we see Grogu with kind of a small staff, and he is roaming in a swampy jungle planet. And of course, this gives you the indication that he might go to Dagobah to actually visit Yoda's hut. This will be a directive perhaps from Luke Skywalker, because only Luke from this entire cast knows about Dagobah and knows about Yoda and Yoda's species, which Grogu is a part of. So this might have been an instruction from Luke Skywalker to Grogu to go to Dagobah and visit the hut of Yoda. He might sense something or find something of some sort that might help him, similar to how Ben Kenobi instructed Luke to go to Dagobah. Now Luke instructs Grogu to go to Dagobah. If not, then even better, because it means this planet, if it's not Dagobah, it's Ossus, and Ossus is the Jedi Temple planet of Luke, where he is building his Jedi Temple, where we see Luke with Ahsoka in the Book of Boba Fett, him training Grogu. So this means that we will directly get to see Luke Skywalker in live action again in a movie, not in a series, not in a one-off episode at the end. In an actual Star Wars movie, Luke Skywalker might appear again. And this is what has gotten my senses tingling. This is what I want to see. I love Mandalorian, I love Grogu, I love all of this. But at the end of the day, Star Wars was made by Luke Skywalker and by Darth Vader. The Skywalker family is still prevailing in the Star Wars. And if Luke Skywalker is a part of this, then this movie will get elevated into, a much, much grandiose, epic scale. A live-action Luke Skywalker in this movie, so hopefully that happens. But either way, if Grogu goes to Dagobah, we still know that Luke Skywalker did instruct him to do so. So Luke is still a part of Star Wars. This is what's important to me. This is what's really important. And it means that the future of Star Wars might still rely on Luke. So let me know down below in the comments, what did I miss? What did you guys really want to see in the next trailer, hopefully, that we will get? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.